We share. Oh, take a ride with me.
My name is Clement. I was born and raised in Kaduna State, Nigeria. I was raised by a single parent, that's my mom. I did my primary school here in Kaduna State, St. Michael Cathedral Nursery and Primary School, and then I did my secondary school here also in Kaduna State. But I did my higher institution in the University of Maiduguri, Borno State. I grew up knowing just my mom, and I've never said good morning to my dad. That was because I was being rejected as a child. My mom was kicked out of the house, and it was a church wedding she did with my dad. My so-called dad, because I don't know him. While growing up, I was being called a bastard, and I was given several names. Within me, I was very, very angry. So while growing again, I was growing up with anger, as in not just anger, but great anger, because you can imagine playing with someone and the person calls you bastard. So I was nursing it within me, and I was having this feeling of dealing with them even. Then, as I was still growing, I was given a letter, sometimes in 2005, that I should stop using the name I am using. That's, I was using a surname, and I was being threatened to stop using the name, or else I will not be able to go to school and people will not see me again. And first of all, they will make the police to come and take me away, and my mom will never see me again. When I received the letter, I did not read the letter because they gave me the letter after the youth fellowship on Monday. So when I got home, I read the letter, then I gave my mom the letter. I showed her the letter. I said, this is what I was given. She asked who gave me the letter. I told her, this is the person that gave me the letter. A son to so-so person gave me the letter. Then she said that in the content of the letter, that I was asked not to use the name, and then they will not see me again. So I said, Mom, how far should we go on using the name? Because as for me, I don't gain anything using the name, and it has never added anything to me. So I'm willing to change the name and not to even continue, because somebody you don't know cannot make any impact on you. So that means he hasn't done anything to me, and I am okay with you, so I'm ready to change the name. But she said that as long as she lives, that I'll never change this name, and I'll continue using it because that is where I belong. So, because I was still a kid, and I have to respect what she said, so that was how I became silent about the name. And then I was still in the secondary school. And while in the secondary school, I finished my junior secondary. I was good in fine art. When they give us classwork, the teacher noticed that I'm very good in artwork. And then I became the best fine art student, even while in JS2. They compared my work with those that were in SS3, and the teachers noticed that I was better than the student in SS3. So they decided to give me the best fine art student, even while in JS2. Though some teachers complained that this is something that is meant for the SS classes, why giving it to this young man? Then the fine art teacher now said that he is the one taking the whole student in this school, so he knows what we've all done, so I deserve this, and then he gave it to me. Then when I finished my junior secondary school, it was time for me to go into the senior secondary school. Then my mom now came, and then she was just saying stuff like, everything now is becoming computerized, that you see, if you want to get a good job, that you need to know the computer, You know, she was just saying stuff that even me, I didn't really understand what she was trying to make a point, but she didn't just come out straight up to say that study sciences, don't go into art. You get, because she was scared that I'll finish school and then there won't be job for me because people don't value artwork. So she wanted me to just go into sciences. So when I noticed what she was trying to do, I now went to sciences. I joined the science class. In fact, I can remember the day I was to go into the higher secondary school, my mom have never seen me off the gate. So when I was about leaving that good morning, she came, she was like, let me see you off. I said, mommy, you don't see me off for what now? You've never seen me off before. Why do you want us to walk to here? So she said, let's go. So when we went out of the house, she was like, I wanted to tell you something. You see, people that I have this, my friend, she said that your writing that is slanting like this, that can you adjust it a little so that it will be standing, so that everybody can understand what you are writing. You see, that's indirectly telling me that I shouldn't go into art class. Then she now said that, you know, don't forget, everything is becoming computerized now, that you need to know the computer. That's, I should go to science class. So when I went, you know, I joined the science classes. So when I joined the science class, even my fine art teacher was so angry. He met me and he was, you know, he met me while going to my class. Then he said, Stammerer, I want to demonstrate it to you. He was like, Clement, you disappointed me. I never thought you do such a thing to me. You are good in art. You want to waste this knowledge in science. You know, the man was so disappointed. He so much loved the way I do artwork, but he didn't have any option. They all waited for me to make a choice, and I decided to go with the choice of science because I wanted making my mother happy. And I grew up with her, and she's the only person I know. I don't know any other person, and I must do everything to keep her happy and to keep her alive. I was very strong. I was good to go. People loved me because of her, and all that I had was because of her. So imagine all this while I did not respect her. That means I wouldn't have come this far that people will know me. So now, if I should deviate and do not respect her feeling, that simply means later on in the future, people may not know me. So I went, I did my sciences, I finished, I applied for school, and then I got an admission into the higher institution. The year I got admission, that was the year I lost my mom. And my intention was to go to school because of her. My intention was to study sciences because of her. In fact, let me tell you something. I wanted going to the university because I wanted breaking her record. She went to the Polytechnic, and then I promised her that I will go to the university because she didn't go to the university. And again, the year I lost her, then my perception changed totally. In fact, my spirit changed. The source of encouragement I was having disappeared. My spirit to do became so low. Everything about me just became so blank, like you just sent forth a child and then you let the child in the middle of the road. Now the child doesn't know what to do again. Before she died, she was very, very sick. In fact, I nursed her for more than a year. She was absolutely sick. And during the period of her illness, it really affected me a lot, to the extent that sometimes I'll be in the room and I'll be crying alone. When I got admission into the university, my mom was no longer there. So I decided to just go, let me proceed, since I chose the course and I wanted studying sciences because of her. So I applied for mathematics because, you know, you keep applying and then you don't get admission. and people don't apply courses like mathematics. So I decided to apply mathematics just to get the admission then. So when I was finally given the mathematics, I started this struggle. Then I noticed that I was good in my first year. I came out as second best, but after the first year, everything changed entirely. I couldn't meet up again. I wasn't even having the school fees to pay. It came to a point that my friends and roommates have to contribute school fees for me before I pay. And by the time they contribute, I'll have to come back after every holiday. When we are done with a semester, I'll have to hustle for the money. I have to get their money before I resume school. So if I don't get the money, I'm not going to resume school. So sometimes I don't even resume school, not until maybe it's a month to exams. Then I'll just go, I'll cram, I'll keep cramming, and then I'll keep pouring what I have in mind. Sometimes I don't resume in time until a month to exams because I have to source all the money that I've collected or I must have borrowed so that I can pay. So, people keep calling me, how far? We've not been seeing you. Are you sure you are okay? Then I'll tell them, yes, I'm okay. Some of my roommates will even call me and say, guy, how far? Hope you've not dropped out of school. I say, no, I'm still good to go. I'll soon resume. You'll soon resume. You did not write tests. Even the assignments that you people were giving, you are nowhere to be found, and you still want to continue school. I said, yes, I'll still continue. And then maybe if it's a month or maybe 2 months to the end of the semester, they will just see me, and then I'll come with their money, settle each one of them, then I'll continue. I'll have to keep rushing to photocopy handouts, assignments, and the rest, whatsoever thing that is needed, notes, just for me to keep cramming, and then let me just pass. Mine was just, let me just pass. Because something that you don't really give in your time, you cannot get the best out of it. And times were not just easy. You understand? Throughout my stay in the university, I did not write tests up to 4 times. I didn't write assignments up to 3 times. Throughout my stay, I spent 5 years in the university. Coupling with the issue of Boko Haram and whatsoever, things were just so different for me. I felt like giving up. But at the same time, I looked at other people out there. Some gave up and they are nothing to write home about. So I refused to give up because those that gave up, I noticed that they don't have anything to show, even up to date. Then if I should give up, what is the essence? So let me just hold on. Even though so many people were having these feelings that I may not finish the school. And then if I should give up, this thought of if I should give up, that means my mom's legacy is going to be wasted. You understand? There will be nothing to show that this is what she did for me. And then there will be nothing to make her to be proud of me up to this period, wherever she is. So I was like, okay, I'll try and finish my school. I kept holding on. There's this woman that used to pray with me. She kept calling. What is the problem? Tell me what's the problem. I know financially I may not be able to assist you, but what is the problem? Why haven't you gone back to school? What's the problem? She wouldn't want to shout at me because she's scared of me opening my mouth to say, in fact, I'm not going back to anywhere again. So she was just praying and hoping that I will not take that decision of dropping out of school. So finally, I just found myself, I was just still in school. I wasn't writing assignments, and then I wasn't doing most of the tests that we were giving in school, but at the same time I was passing, which is God's grace. So when I finished finally, I just left school, and up to date I did not come back with my results, and I've not gone for it because initially that wasn't what I wanted for my life. I wanted art. I love art. I was having passion for art, but I did sciences to please my mom. And the Bible says that children should respect and obey their parents in the Lord because that is the right thing to do. and I wanted living long. So if I don't respect my parents, that simply means I'm disobeying the Bible and I may not live long. So I respected my mom. I went to the sciences, I did the sciences, but my major calling, the strength I was having in me was art. So there's this I didn't tell you. While I was still in the secondary school, after every holiday, I used to go and learn my artwork. So when I finished my secondary school, I now went fully, I was learning my artwork. So while in the university, anytime we are on break, I do go back to the art studio. I served my boss for a good 5 years learning artwork. And then after the whole university, I decided to set up my own. That was when I started my own art studio. And I started under the tree because I wasn't having the finance to make a studio, to raise a structure. So I was sitting under the tree. Anytime it's raining, we had to look for shelter. And so was how the life was rolling. We were rolling until when I started saving bit by bit, and I was able to get a zinc structure. And then when I started with one apprentice, a very young guy. Now he lives in Oyo State. He has gone back there. He completed his secondary school there, and he's still there. And though we do communicate at times, not until now that I have students that I'm teaching, I have apprentices that I've been working together with. And there's this grace that I have that God has given to me. There's nobody that will pass through me or that will come to my studio to learn and will not learn. No matter who you are, even if in your family they are complaining that you don't know anything, they are complaining that you can't do anything, if you should come, God always make it possible for you to grab. And people have been learning. And I've inspired so many people in and outside the country. In fact, I've raised several people. Now some people are married even with this job. Some are still doing the job. Some have gone on their own and they are still doing very well. Some are still here with me and they are still growing. The challenges we've been facing, it's not an easy thing. We are facing several challenges, like even art appreciation, finance, and the rest. While I was still moving, I had this great opportunity that came my way. I saw an advert online, Instagram, and it was from Faz the Bad Guy, the popular Nigerian musician. He said, "What can you do with 1 million naira, just a minute video?" And we decided to organize a video. When I saw it in the night, I told myself that night that I'm going to win. You know, I just showed my cousin sister. I said, this is what Faz is saying that we should do. So I said, this thing, we can win this thing. Let's go to the studio tomorrow. I'll organize the students, and then I'll tell them this is what it is. When we got to the studio, the next day, I presented the video to them. We sat down after our regular morning devotion, because we do pray in the morning before we start our activities. You know, I showed them the video. Then we watched the previous videos, what other people must have presented. Then I told them that this thing is possible, we can do it. All we need is we are good. We just need support. So we presented the video, we posted our video, and I was lucky to be the second person. And after several months, they gave us the cash, the 1 million naira. They made it instrumental. They made the first payment, and then they completed the second one. And in the video, I promised that if being given the 1 million naira, I'm going to use it to expand where we are. That's the art studio. And then I'm going to use part of the money also to buy art material so that I can train more people. You know, by the time I expand the place, I now can have more people, more students that will learn. So I was giving half of the money, then they called me. What have you done with the half of the money? That's the first payment. I told them that, okay, the payment, since you people didn't give me all, I used the first payment to obtain a plot of land. which will now serve as the permanent site for the studio. So when I submitted what I did to them, they now gave us the second payment. Then on the second payment, that is what we now used here. So here is bigger than the first video we showed them, and here contains more material than the first one we showed them. And then here we have more students now. So we can occupy more youths here now than the previous video. So I really appreciate what he did. What he did alone inspired me, and it showed me that I can still continue in this, and someday I'm going to get the fame that comes from this work, and I'm going to get the wealth that comes with this work, and I am going to get all those good things that comes with this work. First really encouraged me, and I've been so happy since then. That was when I made up my mind that I will never give up on this work. So in the next few years, you know, some people always say 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. But I don't want to mention 5 years to you because I feel 5 years is too much. Let me just give you, in the next 3 years, where I'm seeing myself is something far extraordinary. I would even like to bet with you that in the next 3 years, I'll be among the world best. I'll be recorded in Guinness Book of Record. Because of the plans I have, in the next few years, we will be great, far, far greater than what you people are seeing now. Because if I should have a plot of land ready for the permanent site, that simply means in the next maybe few minutes I can blow. In the next few hours, few months, I can do greater things if being supported. In the next 1 week, a miracle can happen. Someone can just come out there and say, okay, this is my support for you. Someone can give us a permanent structure. If we've been holding on for this long, I've been doing this for the past 14 years and I've not given up. So, which simply means that I'm ready to do this for the rest of my life. If I should take a kid that doesn't know anything and at the end of the day the kid is something to be proud of, that simply means that in the next few months we will do greater if being supported. So in the next 5 years, I want to tell you people that we will be far, far, far better than what people think, because the dream is in us. It's not a dream that will die.